1975. Like most years, it had its share of ups and downs. To many people, it was a better year than the years 1973 and 1974 had been. But it still did not match up to the glory years in the late 1950s and early 1960s. On the surface, 1975 appeared to be a transitional period of time, an age when millions of Americans faced up to the reality that the so-called days of milk and honey were behind us, and that future prosperity merely required a little hard work and a firm resolution to succeed. Still with us, but no longer frightening prospects, were the words recession, chaos, and crisis. But Americans, in their hardcore way, decided to fight back. Sure, the jobless rate remained, and America's largest city played with a match called bankruptcy. But they were not insurmountable problems, and they could be licked. So while we all faced up to the new task at hand, the world of sports remained to help us weather the times, bringing us its usual brand of excitement, stunning upsets, and unusual developments. But even the world of sports was caught in the crunch of the times. There was the stunning realization that the American pocketbook was not a bottomless pit that could be exploited. The sudden demise of the World Football League and 3 American Basketball Association teams brought this fact home as Americans showed that they would accept nothing less than grade A for their sporting dollar. But on the scales of balance, the good far outweighed the bad. There was the thrilling World Series between the Cincinnati Reds and the Boston Red Sox that will have baseball buffs talking for many seasons to come. There was the continued dominance of the Philadelphia Flyers in the NHL and the storybook season put together by the Golden State Warriors. There was the UCLA Bruins winning one in the Notre Dame style for retiring coach John Wooden. There was the Pittsburgh Steelers ending a 42-year famine with their first championship. Yes, the world of sports felt the rigors of the times in 1975, but still managed to put together a top-quality product. For the sports fan, 1975 started the way all sports years start, with the college bowl games. And the day's best action took place in the granddaddy of them all, the Rose Bowl, where the Ohio State Buckeyes were taking on the Trojans of Southern California. The Buckeyes, with visions of a national championship dancing through their heads, were holding to a 17-10 lead, when late in the fourth quarter, the passing combination of Pat Hayden and Coach John McKay's son drew USC within a point.
Hayden back to pass. Pretty good protection. Looking, firing long downfield in the end zone. John McKay has got it for a touchdown. For a touchdown. 38-yard touchdown pass. Hayden to McKay. The 2 youngsters who played throughout high school, who played throughout college. One hoping to go to the pros as a receiver, the other scheduled for Oxford as a Rhodes Scholar, have gotten the Trojans to within a point. SC is taking timeout. Hayden to McKay, 38 yards. It is 17-16. The last tie we had in the Rose Bowl was Stanford and Alabama, 7-7 in 1927.
Spurning the tie, the Trojans went for 2 and the win.
All right, here it is in the roar of 106,000 fans. Hayden looking over that tough Ohio State defense. Takes the snap, rolling out. But he can run with it. He fires it in the end zone. It is caught. It is caught by Moose. Who's got it? Sheldon Diggs is surrounded by his teammates. Fans are streaming on the field. Sheldon Diggs caught the pass. SC has taken an 18-17 lead with 2:03 to play.
Southern Cal hung on for the win, and with Notre Dame's upset of Alabama in the Orange Bowl, USC, through a weird change of circumstances, was proclaimed national champion. The first 2 weeks of January usually belong to the game of football. However, gridiron contests are not the only happenings on the sports calendar. Take the night of January 4th, for instance. The Boston Celtics were decimating the Los Angeles Lakers at the Forum in Inglewood, California, when Celtics superstar John Havlicek reached a major milestone by becoming the 5th all-time scorer in NBA history.
Out deep now to Goodrich. On the left it goes to Smith. Shot deflected by Cowan, picked off in there by Cheney. A 4-on-3. Havlicek on the left. The shot no good. He got hit from behind. And he'll go to the foul line. 85-61 to score. John Havlicek will get 2 shots. The shot is good by Havlicek. Now he dips, he shoots, and he's got it. 87-61, Boston leading by 26. John Havlicek, now the NBA's 5th all-time scorer. And he's getting a big hand from the whole crowd. He, at that point, just put him in 5th place on the all-time scoring list of the NBA. Underneath, Hairston's shot is blocked. And he's getting a standing ovation from the... Boy, I'll tell you, this is fantastic. A standing ovation from everybody in the building. Tommy Heinsohn comes out and congratulates John and this big Laker crowd. Lets them know that they recognize him as one of the greatest basketball players who ever played the game.
But as we said, it is the game of football that captures the minds and hearts of the sporting world in the early weeks of any new year. And the reason for this is Super Sunday, the day when the championship of professional football is settled. On January 17th, Super Bowl IX took place at Tulane Stadium in New Orleans, Louisiana. It was the Minnesota Vikings making their 3rd trip to the postseason spectacular in the last 6 seasons against the Pittsburgh Steelers, who were not only making their first trip to the Super Bowl, but also were competing in their first championship game of any kind in their 42-year history. One of the great theories about Super Bowl competition is that the team with no Super Bowl experience loses to the team that has been there before. Not since Super Bowl III, when the New York Jets humbled the Baltimore Colts, had a team been able to muster a victory on its initial Super Bowl appearance. Well, that myth was exploded into oblivion in 1975 as the Steelers totally throttled the Vikings by a 16-7 score, holding the vaunted Vikings to just 127 yards total offense. The first half was a close-knit affair as both defenses dominated. Then, late in the second quarter, Vikings quarterback Fran Tarkenton missed on a handoff to halfback Dave Osborne at the Viking 10 and was forced to take a dive in the end zone.
Tarkenton calling the signals. And here's Tarkenton handing it off. There's a fumble. The ball is loose. Tarkenton goes for it in the end zone. It's an automatic safety. 2 points. The handoff was bobbled. It went back into the end zone. Tarkenton recovered it to prevent the touchdown. As Lambert came into covering, it was an automatic safety.
In the second half, the Steelers went out in front by a 9-0 score when fullback Franco Harris rambled into the end zone.
And Bradshaw giving it to Harris, getting a key block from Mullins, running to the left, turning the corner. He's in there for a touchdown for Pittsburgh. Jerry Mullins gave him the block. Mullins pulling and blocking for Franco Harris. Harris running wide to the left, swung into the end zone for the touchdown, and the Steelers are on the board with their first TD of the afternoon.
The Vikings eventually did get on the scoreboard, but it took their special teams to do that job.
Walden's waiting. There's the snap of the football, and it is blocked. Bobby Walden's punt is blocked, and it's in the end zone for a Minnesota touchdown. Jerry Brown recovered it in the end zone.
The Steelers iced the game in the fourth quarter when they marched 66 yards down the field for the touchdown. However, there are those who thought that touchdown should never have been because of a controversial third down pass from Terry Bradshaw to tight end Larry Brown.
Bradshaw is ready to go. Got 2 yards to go on third down. He's going to pass. And Terry Bradshaw fires, and it's caught at the 40. Holy smokes, Brett Edwards is down to the 30-yard line. And his Larry Brown has fumbled the football, and the Vikings are recovered. Larry Brown caught it. And now, they're saying it is Pittsburgh's ball. The ball was blown dead. 31-yard pass and run. The defensive man overplayed. Jeff Wright tried for the interception. It sailed over his head. I got so excited I had Glenn Edwards catching it. Edwards is on the sidelines. Larry Brown caught it. Took it to the 28. He lost it, but it was dead when he hit the ground. So the completed pass takes it to the Minnesota 28-yard line.
But with Dame Fortune smiling on them, the Steelers took advantage of their good fortune to move in for the score that finished off the Vikings. Once again, it was the passing combination of Terry Bradshaw to Larry Brown.
Bradshaw Bradshaw steps under center. Here is Bradshaw rolling right. Bradshaw gets a big block and fires into the end zone, complete for the touchdown, hitting Larry Brown in the end zone. He got a great block from Franco Harris. And they had to protect against Bradshaw continuing on to the end zone.
Meanwhile, in the world of college basketball, the UCLA Bruins ruled the roost in the NCAA for the 10th time in the last 12 years. Now, this may not have been the most talented UCLA team in recent years. For that matter, they may not have been the best team in the country in 1975. But unlike any of their predecessors, they had a monumental task to accomplish. For John Wooden, head coach of the UCLans for 27 years, one of the greatest names in college basketball history, had announced that the NCAA championship game would be his last. On March 31st in San Diego, the Bruins took to the floor against the Kentucky Wildcats. The first half was as close as you could want a championship game to be, with UCLA holding on to a slim 43-40 lead. The second half started out the same way. But then, with UCLA leading by 2, 58-56, the Bruins, behind the heroics of Richard Washington and Dave Myers, rang off 8 straight points to forge into a 10-point lead.
To the left sideline, and a long one by Washington is good. What a night he's having. This man has 20 points at this stage. The sophomore from Portland. Myers to play at right baseline. Feed it way back deep to McCarter. He was tempted to shoot, but fires back to Myers in the right corner. Moves out a step and takes the shot and scores. The Spider hits one. Legs wide apart as he fires it up and in for his 12th point. And it's 62-56, UCLA trying to win their 10th title in the last 12 years for John Wooden. Up front to Washington, left side, tied up by the smaller Gibbons, who wouldn't let him take a shot. Myers from the top of the circle, and the Spider spreads and hits again.
The Spider is striking right now.
There's the biggest lead of the game for either side, 8 points, 64-56 for the talented UCLA Bruins. Here's a double pump by McCarter in the lane. The shot will not fall. Rebounded by Washington. His turnaround jumper is good. The 22nd point for Richard Washington, who had 26 on Saturday.
Look out, the Bruins are coming. They lead by 10.
66-56 for the first time. 11:48 remaining in the second half.
As it turned out, UCLA would need that 10-point spurt because the Kentucky Wildcats came storming back thanks to the hot shooting of All-America guard Kevin Greavy.
Flynn pass on the left side, nearly stolen by Turkovich. It goes instead for a running one-hander by Kevin Greavy, and the lead is down to 3. 74-71. On the circle, a long shot by Kevin Greavy is good. He's got 30 points tonight. 84-81 as the Wildcats keep the pressure on. At the foul line, turnaround shot goes up and good by Greavy. He will not quit, Kevin Greavy.
But in the end, it was the UCLans that came up with a big play. With less than a minute to go and the Bruins holding on to a slim 88-85 lead, Andre McCarter drove the lane for the clinching basket that would send Coach John Wooden onto blissful retirement.
UCLA by 3, 45 seconds left to go. McCarter drives to the hoop, laying up good.
Great move by McCarter. That was a big hoop, Andy, and he drove the lane beautifully.
90-85, favor UCLA. 12 seconds to go, 92-85. Here's a shot by Flynn, no good. UCLA still boarding. And the rebound comes to Marcus Johnson. Up into the forecourt. 3, 2, 1. He has been... And the game is all over. The game is over, and they're mobbing Johnny Wooden as he bows out with an NCAA championship.
Such a wonderful year with working with these youngsters. It's just, I've never had a finer group. We haven't had a single problem off the court or on the court all year, and I'm happy that they could go out this way too.
Coach, let us talk about tonight's game. That's a very physical team that Kentucky had. You knew it going in. You're down in the first half. You came back to have the lead at the second half. And even though you were going with just about 6 men, your boys hung in there and won it going away.
We're in good condition, and I feel and try to, one of my theories is to get our players to believe they're in better condition than any team against whom we will participate. And whether they are or not, if they'll believe that, it can help them a lot. And it's always been my philosophy to go with 6 or 7 men until games are won or lost.
Up in New York City, the 37th National Invitation Tournament was taking place. In the championship game on Sunday, March 23rd, the Princeton Tigers met the Providence College Friars. The first half was as close a game as one could want, with only 1 point separating the two clubs. The second half started in much the same way. But with just over 5 minutes left of the game, the Princeton Tigers were slowly and methodically pulling away to an eventual 80-69 victory.
Look at Pete Malloy take it right through everybody and lay it in at 5-10. And again, Princeton takes a 64-57 lead, a 7-point advantage. Malloy started dribbling right through the defense into Barnes. Hofbuehler, that is a big one. That is a big one. It brings Dave Gavitt off the bench for Providence. Bello again, tapped out to Armin Hill. Long lead pass down court to Stoyer. Reverse layup is good. And the Princeton fans are going wild at their end of the floor with understandable. Gets it out to Van Blumestein, a four-corner offense. Set it out with one man holding the ball at the point, trying to dribble it in to force the press there. Take the pressure off the wings. They just get it out and start over. Then Mickey Stoyer drives, lays it in, and it'll go. That was the tournament. It wasn't decided long ago. It certainly was there. Mickey Stoyer, the guy who said on defense we can stop the Providence running game. On offense we can break their press. He said that publicly after yesterday's game. At the half, it was a one-point game. Princeton led by a single point. And now they lead 78-63. 7 seconds to go. Ryan O'Neal in the game. Across court it goes to Van Blumestein. That is it. Princeton with an incredible victory. A great team effort. Really, that's not enough you can say about the quality of their play as a team in this tournament. Just a superior effort, a great win for a real team.
The world of pro basketball produced one of the first real surprises of 1975. After the defending champion Boston Celtics had been defeated by the Washington Bullets in the NBA semifinal round of the playoffs, most of the odds makers looked for the Bullets to reign as NBA champions. But in the final playoffs, they caught a real tiger by the tail in the Golden State Warriors. The Warriors surprised a lot of people when they captured first place in the NBA's Pacific Division. They astounded even more basketball fans when they managed to knock off the Chicago Bulls in a hard-fought 7-game series in the semifinal round of the playoffs.
10 seconds on the shot timer, 48 in the game. Phil Smith on the right, waves George Johnson away. Here comes Barry, but Smith keeps the dribble. Feed Barry, right of the key, wide open pass to George. George lays it in, and the Warriors lead by 6 on one of Rick Barry's most brilliant passes. And Al Atlas has gone bananas, and the crowd has gone bananas. Barry on the left side, Love stays with him. The Bulls don't want to foul. Barry goes to the hoop. His float shot going under, no good. Rebound Walker, he comes out dribbling, just so the Warriors don't foul him. Walker over to Boerwinkle. Boerwinkle lead-in shot. George Johnson blocks it. It's out of bounds. 11 seconds to go. A 4-point lead. Johnson has blocked at least 5 key shots in the final quarter of the ballgame. Here's Walker into the lane. Walker, whirl shot. No good. Bounces out to Barry. Barry with the ball. He is fouled. The Warriors win it. It doesn't matter now. 4 seconds left. Here's the inbound pass, and a layup by Walker is good. 2 points, or 2 seconds. Here's the pass to Smith. Smith passes to Wilkes. Wilkes is on the way to the hoop. The ball game is over. 83-79, and the crowd pours onto the floor.
Then the Warriors totally outdid all their previous accomplishments of the season when they swept the final round of the playoffs from the Washington Bullets 4 straight to capture the NBA championship.
Here's Haskins. Into Unseld, out to Hayes, trying to get it to Chenier. Pass blocked and intercepted. Clifford way off to Berry, and that should be the old ball game. Berry over to Ray, and we've got an upset in the making. Game 1. Now we have 12 seconds. A lot of time for it. See Chenier on top. Chenier reverses, double team, triple team. Over to Reardon on the right. Shoots over Barry hurriedly. In and out. Right break. Hayes rebound. Hayes shoots. He misses. Rebounded George Johnson. And the Warriors have it. The game is over. They defense the Bullets out of it. The place goes wild. Here's Beard off to the left, feeding Mullins. Mullins fakes, goes by the ball, and knocks it away. Mullins gets it back, shoots. Good. That's it. 99-85. Beard into Bridges. The great veteran with a 30-footer. No good. Rebound, Bridges. like it was a moment ago. He got the needed one of the two the last time. The disappointment obvious on the faces of the Washington Bullets. Here's up. No good. He still has two to make two. Okay, Butch walks away. If he doesn't hit this, the Bullets still have, if he doesn't hit one of them, the Bullets still have a chance to tie it. In and out. Ooh, the pressure. And Beard had the only hat trick of his entire career, missing 3 straight once on Friday night. Good. And the Warriors lead by 3. Here's Chenier at midcourt. Pass to Gibbs. Gibbs baseline, they let him have it. He shoots it, no good. Chenier, rebound. Jump shot, left-handed, no good. Unshot, puts it in. It's 95-94. 1 second left. The Warriors call a timeout. Beard will get it near the right side, midcourt. Everybody broke too soon before Sokol gave the ball to Beard. Kazelko jumping. Beard makes the pass to Mullen. And Barry's got it. The ball game is over. The ball game is over. Rick Barry in possession of the ball as the final second tips off. And out on those Golden State Warriors are champions of the world. They are the unbelievable champions of the world. The Cinderellas of the sports world. They have outlasted the Bullets 96-95. Again, the final score. Warriors 96, Bullets 95.
In the National Hockey League, things remained the same as the Philadelphia Flyers took the Stanley Cup for the 2nd year in a row. However, unlike the year before when the Flyers were the Cinderella team of 1974, the Flyers were now the king of the hill, the team to beat, as they like to say in the sporting circle. They ripped through the regular season in championship style. In the playoffs, they knocked off their first challengers in the Toronto Maple Leafs 4-0. And then they received their first real scare of the long season in the New York Islanders. The Islanders had earned the title of the darlings of the hockey world when they managed to overcome a 3-0 deficit in the playoffs against the Pittsburgh Penguins. When they advanced to the semifinal round against the Flyers, they once again found themselves down by 3 games. But, as they had done with Pittsburgh, they fought back and evened the series at 3 games apiece. Could lightning strike twice? Could this upstart Islander team turn the tables on the defending world champions? The Flyers were taking no chances, so in the deciding 7th game, they called on their good luck charm, Kate Smith, to sing God Bless America, and then kept her winning record intact by downing the Islanders.
Well, the house lights have been dimmed. And Kate Smith, accompanist, has come out and soon to be joined, I'm sure, by the announcement of the PA announcer, Lou Nolan, of the arrival of Kate Smith. Here it is. And Kate Smith has been announced. For whatever reason, Ed Westfall is standing right by the microphone as Kate Smith is greeting her admirers here at the Spectrum. Digging it out. Back to the point to Billy Barber. Barber with a shot. Right on, he scores! McLeish is bumped. Breaks off the check by Lewis. Over the line. He's got a man breaking in on the far side. A shot! Score! The Flyers lift it out the center. McLeish with Barber. 2-on-1. McLeish shot. Score! From center ice. The hot trick for Rick McLeish. And the Flyers are going to be in the finals.
With the Islanders now out of the way, the Flyers then sat down to the task of actually defending their Stanley Cup championship. In the finals, they met another up-and-coming team in the Buffalo Sabres. The Sabres were a high-scoring outfit that featured the prolific scoring French connection line of Gilles Perreault, Rick Martin, and René Robert. In the finals, the Flyers took the first two games that were played in the Spectrum in Philadelphia. But once the scene shifted to Buffalo for games 3 and 4, it was the Sabres who emerged victorious. Those two games were played in a virtual sauna, as oppressive heat and fog caused many halts in the two games. The Sabres took Game 3 in overtime when René Robert blistered a shot through the maze that beat Flyers goalie Bernie Perrant.
Van Imp. Backhands it to the Buffalo line. Height couldn't stop it. McLeish in against Height. Height has it, made a good move on to McLeish. Up for Rick Martin. Martin ahead to Perreault. Perreault at center. Fires it off the corner boards. Robert goes in after it. He shoots. He scores! René Robert has scored for the Buffalo Sabres in overtime with 1 minute 31 seconds left in sudden death. René Robert with a second overtime goal of the playoffs has given the Buffalo Sabres a 5-4 victory over the Flyers, and the series is now 2-1 in favor of Philadelphia.
In Game 4, the score was tied at 2-2 when Jim Lorentz and Danny Gare potted the two goals that paced the Sabres to a 4-2 win and a series-tying victory.
Up on the left side for Jim Lorenz. Lorenz comes to center, winds up and then flips it into the corner. Dudley goes after it. Dudley to the goal piece.
The pass from Rick Dudley. It's 3-2, the Sabres lead. From Gillis, stepped away by Liz. He's got an open net. He's got Gare with him. Over to Gare, goes to the goal all alone. He scores! Danny Gare into an open net. And the Buffalo Sabres will tie up the series of 2 games each. Buffalo 4, the Flyers 2 with 32 seconds to go. In the third period, Danny Gare taking the pass from Don Luce. And Gare going in on an open net.
That was the Sabres' last gasp, however, for when the scene shifted back to Philadelphia for Game 5, the Flyers regained the series advantage by pinning a 5-1 defeat on Buffalo. Game 6 was back in Buffalo, and for the second year in a row, the Flyers won the Stanley Cup thanks to the shutout goaltending of Perrant. The first 2 periods were scoreless as both goaltenders, Perrant and Roger Crozier, dominated. Then, in the third period, Bob Kelly put the Flyers on the scoreboard.
Kelly has it. Over he scores! Bob Kelly for Case of Tasty Cake, and the Flyers are on the board. It's 1-0. The Hound does it again.
Then, with just under 3 minutes to play, Bill Clement broke in alone on the Sabres' goal, and the Flyers were on their way to their second consecutive Stanley Cup championship.
Perrant into a traffic jam, has to get back in a hurry. Korab at the right point as the Sabres gang. Kindrachuk blocks it, and it comes to the near side. Kindrachuk back to Clement, a breakaway. He scores! Bill Clement for a Case of Tasty Cake, and it's 2-0 Flyers. On the faceoff, it goes to the Flyer backboard. Van Imp cross-check from behind. Jimmy Watson trying to get a faceoff. Puck is still in play. 3, 2, and the clock stops with 2 seconds to go. Oh, man. Bobby Clark realizing the Flyers are but 2 seconds away from nailing down their second consecutive Stanley Cup. Face-off, 1. It's all over. The Flyers have won the second in a row. The Flyers have won their second consecutive Stanley Cup. And the whole Flyers bench is off the ice.
That deciding game of the Stanley Cup Finals was played on May 27th, the latest in NHL history. Already the winter snows had thawed. Cold Nordic blasts had turned to gentle southerly breezes. Spring was in the air, and with it came a different brand of sports excitement. Since the year 1973, when Secretariat won the Triple Crown of horse racing, sports enthusiasts had hoped to revel in the excitement that goes with that challenge. However, in 1975, there would be no Triple Crown winner. In the Kentucky Derby, Foolish Pleasure rode to victory. But then, 2 weeks later, in the 100th running of the Preakness, the Triple Crown dream came to an end when Master Derby pulled up victorious.
They're out. Bold Chapeau breaks in a bit to Prince Stowart, and Master Derby takes the early lead. Native Guest is up on the outside alongside his media. Then further out it's Sing, and there's the pace. Coming by us for the first time, Native Guest has the rail and the lead by a head. Media is second on the outside by a length. Sing in third by a length. Then down on the rail is Master Derby. Diablo. Avatar is hung out a bit as they go into the turn. And he's followed by Foolish Pleasure. Then Just the Time, Bold Chapeau, and finally Prince Thou Art. They're on the turn. Native Guest leads it by a half a length. Media still second on the outside. Then there's a length back to Master Derby, and up on the outside is Sing. They're right together. A gap of 2 lengths back, Diablo and Avatar together. Another 2.5, and Foolish Pleasure. Bold Chapeau moves up a bit now. Then further back, Prince Thou Art, and the final horse is Just the Time. They're still pretty well bunched as they go down the back stretch with Native Guest holding on to the lead a half length. Now Master Derby looks for room, and on the outside, Sting comes up. Avatar's made a sudden move, and now we have 4 of them battling for the lead as they move into the final turn. Native Guest on the inside by a head. Master Derby is second by a head. Avatar is third a length. Sting drops to the outside, and it looks like Foolish Pleasure is now making a run. He's into fourth. They're on the turn. Still Native Guest, Master Derby, and Avatar battling the lead with Master Derby ahead in front. Avatar second on the outside. Native Guest third the rail. Foolish Pleasure is now fourth, and he's still trying to make up that ground. They're swinging for the stretch. Master Derby has the lead as they drive into the stretch. And Master Derby is opening it up now. He has 3 lengths as they make the stretch run. Avatar is second ahead with Foolish Pleasure third on the outside. And Diablo is also driving up on the outside. They're trying to catch Master Derby. He's still 2.5. Foolish Pleasure is gaining. He switches to the inside. Master Derby holding on, and Foolish Pleasure trying to catch him. Listen close. Master Derby holding on, and he wins it. About a half a length. Foolish Pleasure second. Diablo third. Prince Thou Art made up ground to be fourth. Avatar fifth. Sting is sixth. Native Guest, Just the Time, Bold Chapeau, and Media. And that's the way it went in the 100th running of the Preakness.
But for the horse racing buff, 1975 was a costly year. In a promotional gimmick, one of those battles of the sexes, Ruffian, the 3-year-old sister of legendary Secretariat, met Foolish Pleasure in a match race. But tragedy struck when Ruffian suffered a shattered ankle and had to be destroyed. A waste of a beautiful animal in a senseless race. In baseball, Hank Aaron, who had captured all the headlines in 1974, was still at it in 1975. Only this time, he wore the uniform of the Milwaukee Brewers. On April 27th, Aaron shattered still another Babe Ruth record with his 2,210th career run batted in.
Rule ready. The pitch to Henry. A line drive, left field, base hit. Well, he came with one off-speed pitch too many, and Aaron lined him to left. Another run is in. Brewers lead, 3-2. Well, you can't keep doing it all the time. Scott goes to second. Henry Aaron at first base with an RBI. Number 2,210. Now the all-time RBI leader in baseball. And a standing ovation for Henry Aaron. The all-time RBI leader. 2,210 RBIs, and they're still standing for Henry. We got a very rule change-up that time around the letters. Boy, he jumps all over it. 3-2 Brewer lead. The RBI for Aaron is 8th of the year. And another milestone in the baseball career of Henry Aaron.
While old war horses like Hank Aaron were still doing their thing on the field of play, there was a younger star in the American League who looked to be the dominant player in baseball for many years to come. His name was Fred Lynn, and he played center field for the Boston Red Sox. In 1975, Fred Lynn put together the most sensational season any rookie had ever had. He batted .331, hit 21 home runs, had 105 RBIs, led the American League in doubles with 47, and runs scored with 105. He also paced the league in slugging percentage. And on the night of June 18th in Detroit, he became one of only 4 players in American League history to have 16 total bases in one game, when he went 5 for 6, including 3 home runs.
Curveball, long drive, right field, way up. Forget it. Home run, upper deck for Freddie Lynn. Red Sox lead 3-0. Burleson at third, Yastrzemski at first. Coleman works.
And there goes a high shot to right field. That's up. It's towering. It's gone. It's on the roof. Freddie Lynn hits one on the roof in Detroit for his second home run. And the Red Sox now lead by a 6-1 score.
Pitches to Lynn. There's a shot. Left field. Deep. Way back. And it's off the scoreboard. Here's Burleson in to score. Here comes Yastrzemski around to score. Lynn is going into third base. He's got a triple. 2 more runs batted in, and Lynn has driven in 7.
And there goes a shot deep to right field. High in the air, and we watch this one go into the upper deck. His third home run of the night. As he goes 5 for 6 with 3 home runs and 10 runs batted in.
And in the field, Lynn looked like the second coming of Joe DiMaggio with acrobatic catches all season long.
Pitch to Greg Nettles. Swings. Drive to left center field. Maybe a gapper. Lynn is running. Lynn is going. He's got it. It's a great catch. A great catch by Freddie Lynn. Oh, mercy. What a catch by Lynn. He outran that ball in the alley in left center field. And Red Sox fans are going ape out here.
And after all was said and done, Fred Lynn became the first rookie in the history of Major League Baseball to win Rookie of the Year and Most Valuable Player honors in the same season.
I think in late August, when the team was doing so well, I thought that we were going to win the division. And that's certainly a key factor. I was doing well. I think I was leading the league in RBIs at that time. I was second in batting. And I had a few home runs, not a lot, but a few. I think it matters a lot if you win the division or not. I think if Kansas City would have won their division instead of Oakland, John Mayberry would have won the MVP instead of myself. But as it was, we won it, so I won.
Lynn's heroics in 1975 helped pace the Red Sox to their first pennant in 8 seasons. Meanwhile, in the National League, the Cincinnati Reds ran away from everybody on their way to the Senior Circuits pennant. They were spearheaded through the long season by little second baseman Joe Morgan, as he hit .327, drove in 94 runs, led the league in walks, and was on base just about every time you looked up. For his heroics in 1975, he was chosen the National League's winner of the MVP award.
Williams with a 3-2 on the way. Swung on, line drive, right center field. It'll be in for a hit. Fielded on one big hop. Here comes Morgan to second. Head first, sliding safe. Joe Morgan never broke stride as Gary Maddox drifted deep into right center to field that big hopping line shot. And Joe with a head-first slide in safely with a 2-base hit. That one bounces up there. Can't find it, Hill. Here comes Morgan to third. It gets by the catcher. The third baseman, and Morgan will score, and this one belongs to the Reds. Well, the ball got away from Mark Hill. He couldn't find it. Morgan broke for third. Hill picked it up and threw it away at third base. It getting down the line away from Ontiveros. And Morgan scores to give the Reds a 5-4 victory.
In the playoffs, the Boston Red Sox dethroned the defending champion Oakland A's rather easy fashion. They swept the series 3-0.
3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Right side of the infield deep. Cooper laying back. Grego getting set with a payoff pitch once again. Pauses. Pitches. Ground ball past Grego. Charged by Doyle. Goes to first. The Red Sox win the pennant. The Red Sox win it. They're all out on the field as they have beaten the Oakland A's 3 in a row.
And in the National League, the Cincinnati Reds did the same thing to the Pittsburgh Pirates. A 3-game sweep.
Randolph, right-handed batting rookie infielder. Petey looking for the sign. He kicks and deals. The pitch is hit to Morgan. He's up. He throws to Tony. And the 1975 pennant belongs to the Reds.
The social event on the 1975 sports calendar turned out to be the World Series, as the Cincinnati Reds and Boston Red Sox put on one of the more memorable battles in recent memory. The Reds were picked as the favorite, considering that they were making their third trip to the Fall Classic in the last 6 seasons. On the other hand, the Red Sox were considered somewhat of a Cinderella team. But by the end of this memorable battle, there was no doubt on anybody's mind that the 2 best teams in baseball were the Reds and the Red Sox. The Red Sox took the first game of the series as pitching ace Louis Tiant mesmerized the Reds with his assortment of wiggles and twists and won by a 6-0 score.
1-2 pitch. Ground ball left side. Diving grab by Petrocelli. Gets up, throws, and this one's over.
In Game 2, the Red Sox appeared headed to their second straight victory of the series when they entered the ninth inning leading 2-1. But the Reds put together one of their patented ninth inning rallies, and they won.
Johnny Bench, they have the shift on for him. They give him the right field corner with a wind blowing in. I wouldn't be surprised if he can to see him try right center or go to the right field corner, Marty. Let's see what happens. Depends how Lee pitches him. And there he goes to right field. He hits the ball into the corner. He's going to get extra bases. Bench goes into second, and the Reds have the tying run at second, nobody out. There's a bounding ball. It's going to be maybe a tie game. It is. Bench scores, and Concepcion beats out an infield hit to tie it up for Cincinnati. Danny Doyle flagged it down and back a second, and the Reds have tied it. The 1-2 pitch. Griffey has a drive in the left center. That's in the gap. Concepcion scoring. Griffey's going to second, and the Reds take the lead 3-2 with a 2-run ninth inning.
Game 3 was played at Cincinnati's Riverfront Stadium. Altogether, there were 6 home runs hit by 6 different players. But in the end, the Reds pulled out the win, and the game was decided on a ball that traveled no more than 2 feet.
So with Geronimo having led off the 10th inning with a base hit to right center field, Ed Armbruster will be the pinch hitter for Raleigh Eastwick. Right-hander Jim Willoughby into his stretch motion as he checks the runner at first base. Here's a pitch to the plate. Armbruster squares around a bunt, drops it out in front of the plate. Carlton Fisk up with the ball, taking a shot at second base, and he throws it away. Geronimo heading for third. Lynn throws that way, but not in time, and Armbruster goes to second. And now Darrell Johnson is out, charging plate umpire Larry Barnett, and he may be arguing interference against Armbruster. There may have been some contact between Carlton Fisk and Armbruster at the plate. A drawn-in Boston Red Sox defense, and left-hander Roger Moret will work out of the stretch. Has a sign from Carlton Fisk. He comes set. He delivers. Morgan with a line drive, center field. It's over the head of Freddie Lynn, and this one belongs to the Reds.
Game 4 belonged to the Red Sox as Louis Tiant continued his mastery over the Reds by a 5-4 score.
Tiant to the stretch. Looks to the plate. Here's the pitch, and the runner goes. And here's a pop-up to the right side. Yastrzemski calling for it. This could be it. Yastrzemski makes the catch. And the Red Sox have held on and defeated the Cincinnati Reds to even this 1975 World Series at 2 games apiece.
Game 5 belonged to Cincinnati as the Reds' Don Gullett baffled the Red Sox on the way to a 6-2 victory.
Pitch to Rose, fly ball down the left field line. Curving, it is going to be a fair ball. Gullett rounds third, comes to the plate. He will score, and the Reds go ahead 2-1. Double for Pete Rose. Bench is at second, Morgan at third, and nobody out. Tony leveling the bat, waiting for Cleveland's pitch. Here it comes. Fly ball, long drive to left field. Home run! Tony Perez breaking out of his series slump with a bang.
The 0-2 delivery. Here it comes.
Strike three, swinging, the ball game's over. Raleigh Eastwick throws 3 pitches to Petrocelli, nailing it down for Don Gullett as the Cincinnati Reds romp over the Red Sox in Game 5.
Game 6 turned out to be not only the classic of the series, but one of the most exciting baseball games ever played. The Reds appeared headed to victory, holding a 6-3 lead in the 8th inning, when Bernie Carbo was sent up to pinch hit for Boston with 2 men on. Carbo had already hit 1 pinch homer in the series, and in just a matter of seconds, he was to join former Dodger Chuck Kosijan as the only 2 players to hit 2 pinch hit home runs in a series. But more importantly, it gave the Red Sox a new lease on life by tying the ball game at 6-6.
Carbo hits a high drive, deep center, way back, home run! Bernie Carbo has hit his second pitch hit home run of this series. That was a blast up in the center field bleachers. It came with 2 outs. And the count 2-2. And the Red Sox have tied it 6-6.
Both teams took shots at winning it after that, but their defenses were equal to the task. In the ninth, the Red Sox tried but failed.
The Reds have the infield in, the outfield very shallow, and the pitch. There's a high fly ball down the left field line. It's going to be close. It is caught by Foster. Here's a tag. Here's a throw. He's out. A double play. A double play. Foster throws him out. Foster took that ball, jammed right up against the left field stand, very shallow. And they sent the runner from third. And Denny Doyle is thrown out on a perfect strike.
In the 10th, the Reds appeared headed to victory when Joe Morgan sent a ball soaring toward the right field grandstand. But Dwight Evans made a picture and clutch catch that belongs to baseball history.
The pitch. There's a long shot to deep right. Back goes Evans. Back. And what a grab! Evans made a grab and saved a home run on that one. Throws to first for a double play as Evans robbed Joe Morgan of a home run.
To most baseball fans, they could have played this game forever and no one would have been bored. So perfect was the execution and drama this night. But it all came to a halt in the bottom of the 12th inning when Boston catcher Carlton Fisk caught hold of a Pat Darcy pitch and sent it airborne.
The 1-0 delivery to Fisk. He swings, long drive, left field. If it stays fair, it's gone. Home run! The Red Sox win! And the series is tied 3 games apiece.
If there was ever a series that no team deserved to lose, this was it. But our system doesn't work that way. And so on the night of October 22nd, the two teams took to the field to decide the issue. The Red Sox took an early 3-0 lead on rookie sensation Fred Lynn's first inning home run. But the Reds came battling back. They drew within 1 run when left-hander Bill Lee tried to use his blooper pitch one time too many on Cincinnati slugger Tony Perez.
There's his blooper pitch. There it is. A high drive. He was waiting for that one. That one is gone over everything. Perez timed that blooper pitch and slammed it over the screen out on the Lansdowne Street. And now we have another 1-run ball game in this World Series.
The Reds eventually tied it. And it seemed only fitting that this great World Series should go down to the final out of the final inning in the final game as the Reds pulled out the victory and their first World Championship since 1940.
Cincinnati, the 2 down, has Ken Griffey at third, Pete Rose at first, Joe Morgan at bat, 1 ball, 2 strikes. There's a looper, may drop. It's in for a hit. Here comes a throw to third. Rose hits the dirt. He's safe. And there goes Morgan down the second. And the Reds have the lead 4-3. And Carl Yastrzemski gets a standing ovation. Win or lose, he's been a great player for Boston since 1960. And he's the captain of the team. There's a high fly ball. It should be all over. Geronimo's under. And Cincinnati has won the World Championship, beating the Boston Red Sox 4-3.
Meanwhile, in the world of college football, the Ohio State Buckeyes ran roughshod over opponent after opponent during the regular season. And once again, it was their superlative running back, Archie Griffin, who led the way. During his 4-year tenure at Ohio State, Griffin set record after record and accomplished deeds that may never be equaled. And as a result, in 1975, he became the first man in the history of college football to win the Heisman Trophy twice.
There was more guys keying on me this year than in the past, and I guess more guys wanted to tackle me. It was pressure, but I tried to keep that. If the pressure was there, I didn't want to let my teammates know anything like that. But my teammates really kept me down low-keyed and, kept me loose.
In pro football, the demise of the World Football League brought a semblance of reality back to the sporting world, with the realization that endless expansion and continued dilution of talent would not be tolerated by the paying public. Meanwhile, in the NFL, 2 of the more long-standing and cherished records were due to fall in 1975, and oddly enough, they were both broken on the same day and in the same game. It was Saturday, December 20th, and the Minnesota Vikings were meeting the Buffalo Bills in a snowstorm. Fran Tarkenton, the Vikings' veteran quarterback, and O.J. Simpson, the Bills' great running back, were the 2 centers of attraction. Tarkenton set his record when he threw a touchdown pass to Chuck Foreman that made him the NFL's all-time leader in career touchdown passes, eclipsing Johnny Unitas' record. And oddly, on the same play, Foreman, who scored 4 touchdowns in this game, managed to tie Simpson and the great Gale Sayers for most touchdowns in a single season with his 22nd.
Lash wide left. Stu Boyd, the tight end, is on the right side. Flanagan in motion to the left. First and goal from the 6. Tarkenton jumping to Foreman. Touchdown.
He breaks the record. He breaks the record. And Chuck Foreman ties the record.
Foreman and O.J. have now scored 22 touchdowns to tie Gale Sayers' record set in 65. And that one by Tarkenton is touchdown number 291 in France's career. The greatest touchdown-throwing quarterback in history.
However, Foreman's entrance into the record books was a short-lived one, for on their next series, Simpson set a new NFL record for touchdowns in one season with his 23rd, when he hauled in a pass from quarterback Gary Morangi and scampered to the end zone.
Gary Morangi is back in there. Chandler right and Hill left. Simpson and Braxton the running back. Morangi looking down the left.
He's got O.J. open.
To the 30, to the 20. Go! All the way, O.J.
What a play, what a play. Morangi came in, what a great play.
64-yard touchdown pass.
That breaks a record, another record set.
Boy, what a day in Buffalo, and never mind the weather.
The real surprise of the 1975 NFL season was the turnaround made by the Baltimore Colts. In 1974, they were a misfit bunch as they labored through a disastrous 2-12 season. But in 1975, they did a complete about-face as they posted a 10-4 record and walked off with the AFC East Division title by beating the New England Patriots in the final game of the season.
Jones back to pass on 3rd down. He sets it up. Now he's going to scramble. Wide open. He's going to run it in for a touchdown. Burt Jones went back to pass. Everybody was covered. He sprinted to his left and ran in. Nobody near him for a touchdown.
Colts out of the huddle. Roger Carr to the right side this time and Dowdy to the left. Dowdy's to the wide side of the field. The ball on the far hash mark. It is 2nd and 6. Jones rolls to his right. Going to look. Fire back across his body. Complete to Ray Chester in for a touchdown. Raymond Chester, the tight end, hauls it in. A 20-yard touchdown pass from Burt Jones. And the Colts go back on top, 16-14.
Stingley wide to the right, Bataha left. Grogan play action fake, back to pass, pump fakes, fires to the right, and it is intercepted by McLeod, picked off by White on the bounce at midfield down the left sideline to the 45-yard line of the Patriots. McLeod came over, hit the ball in the air, and it went right into the hands of Stan White. And he returned it to the Patriot 45-yard line, and that's where the Colts have the ball. Carr is to the left and Dowdy to the right. The handoff comes to Lydell Mitchell inside the 10, inside the 5, and in for a touchdown. Lydell Mitchell booms 11 yards, and the Colts go back out on top, 26-21. The handoff to Mitchell, he just falls down. Back at the 37-yard line. 32 seconds to go, the clock ticking. And the Baltimore Colts will win the Eastern Division Championship. The crowd here in Baltimore is just ecstatic. Ecstatic. It's all over. Just a sea of humanity on the football field. The Colt fans are mobbing their players as the Baltimore Colts are the Eastern Division champions in the American Football Conference.
However, their Cinderella carriage soon turned into a pumpkin when in the first round of the NFL playoffs they went up against the defending champion Pittsburgh Steelers and were beaten. But no sooner were the Colts disposed of when another surprise team surfaced. On Sunday, December 28th, the Dallas Cowboys met the Minnesota Vikings in Minnesota in the first round of the NFL playoffs. The Cowboys were supposedly in a rebuilding year, but on this day, they shot down the Vikings and earned a trip to the NFC Championship game with a 17-14 win. The Cowboys were trailing in the ball game by a 14-10 score and less than a minute to play when the passing combination of Roger Staubach and Drew Pearson finished off the Vikings.
Nobody's leaving this ballpark. Now, Staubach on the last play of the season, quite possibly for Dallas, drops back in shotgun formation of his 20. Here is the snap. He steps back. He looks. He throws long. Going for the ball is Pearson. He catches the ball. Did he catch it? He did. They're giving him a catch at the 50-yard line. It is ruled by the official that he had the ball and was knocked out of bounds by the defense. And so it is a completed pass with 37 seconds left to play. Staubach standing back at his 45, waiting the shotgun snap. He gets it. He drops. He looks long. He pumps and throws a home run ball. Drew Pearson's going for it. He catches the ball. Touchdown, Dallas. Incredible. Roger Staubach cocked his arm, threw the ball as far as he could. Drew Pearson covered all the way, catches the ball at the 3 and steps in for a touchdown. And the Cowboys miraculously go 85 yards in 9 plays and take the lead 16-14 with 24 seconds left to go.
Well, there you have it. Sports in 1975. From day one to the dying moments of the year, the world of sports was as predictable as ever. Exciting. So now, as we enter a new year, one thing remains certain. The world of athletic endeavor will continue to offer us new thrills, unexpected results, and just a general brand of excitement that is unmatched in any other field.